cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut. Welcome to the top cut.
Today's episode is brought to you by ETB Games. ETB Games is, of course, our locals in Alexandria, Louisiana. They are our one-stop shop for all of our card game needs. They have singles and sealed product for the games that you love, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, and Pokemon. Of course, you can also find the accessories that you need, such as sleeves, binders, playmats, and more. And if you're into D&D, well, they have all of your D&D figurines, the paint for the figurines, dice, books, and anything that you would need to play. So be sure to check out ETB Games. There's a link in the description down below. And now, back to today's episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. My name is Sunny. I am here with my co-host, Caleb.
Hello.
And of course, we want to thank you all for joining us today and thank all of our wonderful sponsors for supporting the program. So a huge thank you, of course, goes to ETB Games. And of course, we want to thank Gem Accessories and Millennium Threads. There are links with discount codes to both of those down below. And of course, if you are interested in supporting the channel at no extra cost to yourself, you can check out our affiliate links down below for both Dragon Shield and TCG Player. Just click the link before you go shopping and it costs you nothing extra to support the channel. Now, the other way that you can support the channel is, of course, we have our Patreon. So if you want to join our Patreon, you get an extra episode every week, but we want to thank all of our patrons before every episode. So a huge thank you to Cam Yang, Dragon Maid Stunzeed, Kane Martin. I haven't thought of a new name this week, so call me Darkwing, Ducktail, Baja Blast, the April Floodgate of the Branded. Okay. Zyphorus, Yeet Defeat, Blackwing, Silverwind the Ascendant is the best Floodgate, Earth Machine, best deck. Epi, has anyone actually read Toy Vendor? HH Cyber, I'm not a man, I'm not a god, I am Lee. I am McLincoln, Mountain Man, Naturia Ishizu, Runic is the best underrated deck, no cap. Oatmeal Spaghetti, Owen Alvarado, quitting the game as a Floodgate. Sprite Farter, Unbanned number 95, Konami. Understanding and reading are two different things. Virtually Savior's World, Rogue, and Tier 2 are the polite terms for bad deck. AD, Aaron Gardner, Asami, Ashlish Chaps, Bestial Pizza Hut, Cyber Dank, Puffer Dragon, Duty Booty, Dragon Maidenless Behavior, Eldritch, the Lord of Floodgates and Monkey Brains, Fur Hire Dog Turd, Herios, Pebble Cereal, Cam, the Disciple of Caleb's Waifu Philosophy, Old Man Red, Pin Code 143, Ray Powell, and Santa Claus. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the podcast. And if you are wanting to get some Top Cut Podcast merch or some extra episodes each week, or just support the podcast, get a stupid name read out within reason, be sure to check out our Patreon. The link is in the description down below. And of course, the number one way that you can go ahead and support the podcast is if you're on YouTube, go ahead and just click down below and click that subscribe button. You might not realize that you're not subscribed. If it's red, you can just go ahead and click it. If it's gray, good, you're already here. Thank you, welcome. So, and if you're on Spotify or iTunes, you can always go ahead and click the follow or subscribe button on those respective platforms, and leaving us ratings and reviews also helps. Now, okay. We're going to blow through all of that because we have a ton to discuss today, actually, for once. So we've been letting the new cards build up for, I don't know, a couple of weeks now. Yeah. So we've got about 8 million new cards to discuss.
Most of them came out within the last week.
Yes, and we actually had a lot of them available last episode, but last episode kind of got a little bit dark. It got a little bit sad, but it's okay. We're back now. We had a tournament over the weekend. It boosted our spirits. It brought us back into the flow of things. We both did pretty well, I would say. So,
yeah, you got what? 3rd?
And you got
7th.
All right. Woo. Go us. Round of applause. So, the tournament was an OTS tournament, not just for an OTS store, but it was like, and the prizing was OTS packs, and not just in like the traditional way, but so it was $20 entry. You got 5 OTS packs for entry. Keep in mind, I've never pulled an OTS ulti before.
I have.
Right. I have not.
I pulled one. I pulled exactly one time.
Right. I've never pulled an OTS ulti. It's always the guy next to me or the guy across from me that gets it. I've never. And I'll admit a lot of it is because I haven't like put a bunch of OTS ulti packs in front of me. So, like, I don't go to tournaments as often as other people do.
Yeah, particularly locals, because it's like an hour to get there.
Right. So other people will go to locals every single week. And then a locals might give you 2 or 3 packs for entry. But if you go to 1 or 2 locals a week, or if you're in like a big city and you go to like
3 or 4.
right, like some places you can go to 3 to 4 to 5 locals in a week.
Yeah, you're gonna hit.
Right. We go to 1 or 2 a month. So that's just the nature for us. Now, the thing about our OTS tournaments is normally it's 1 or 2, it's like 2 packs for entry. This one, because it was $20, was 5 packs for entry. First place got, if it was 23 or less players, then first place, which it was, because if it was 24, they were going to add another case to the prize pool.
We had exactly 23 players.
Yeah. So prizing ended up being first place got 40 packs of OTS 20 and 40 packs of OTS 19. So 80 total, and it's half and half. Second place got 40 total, and it was half and half of each. Third and fourth got 20 total, and it was half and half. And then like 20 each.
Yeah.
And then fourth or fifth through eighth got 10 packs each, and it was half and half of each, so 5 and 5. So I got third after Swiss. So I went undefeated until the last round,
Yep.
and then I lost to. It was me and another guy were both undefeated, and I lost to him. So he was the only undefeated, and he was my only loss. But because of the way the tiebreakers worked,
Yep.
the guy that he beat the round before also won. So I got third instead of second, which I was really upset about. And then he opened his 40 OTS packs and managed to pull a single ulti skill drain.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened my 20 and I also pulled a single ulti skill drain. So I'm not that upset about it.
Yeah.
I also pulled a Ray out of my entry packs.
But so yeah.
I had a good day as far as pulls.
Hold on. So there's more than 2 supers in OTS 20, correct?
As far as I'm aware.
My entry packs were, and I put my supers for that, and I pulled in this exact order: Herald of Orange Light, Herald of Orange Light, option token, Herald of Orange Light, option token.
For your entry.
And then out of the 5 packs I opened from winning, from
Sure.
getting 7th, I opened Herald of Orange Light, Herald of Orange Light, option token, Herald of Orange Light. So I walked away with
That's tough.
5 Herald of Orange Lights and 5 option tokens.
But at least you got different stuff out of the OTS 19.
Yes.
Was it any better?
No.
Okay, let's do a quick round by round.
Yeah.
Okay, round 1, I played against ABC Therian Adventure. He got game 1. Game 2, I just had answers for the things that he needed to do. And game 3, I had Bestials, which murdered his ABC engine. And then I was able to just play through the rest.
So my game 1 was against Flu. I lost the die roll. He goes first.
Mm-hmm.
I opened no hand traps.
Okay.
And he just kind of goes full board, and I can't do anything.
Okay, also, when the tournament started, I sat at table 1 and Caleb sat at table 2 directly next to me.
Yep.
Okay, continue. That'll come back up later.
So that's what I'm game 1. Game 2, I go first. Look at my hand. Unplayable.
Oof.
I open 1 hand trap. Then I was playing Medolce, so I also opened like Chateau, Gravekeeper's Trap. It was DD. No, not Crow. I decided out my crows. It was. I think it was like, I don't remember. It was a hand trap, Gravekeeper's Trap, Chateau, Averna Self, and the Medolce Promenade. Unplayable.
Yeah.
I can summon the Verna Self, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so I set the Gravekeeper's Trap, pass, and he just kind of goes full board again. And when I attempt a Gravekeeper's Trap, he hits it with a Cosmic Cyclone.
Oh, that's rough.
And I was like, it be what it be. So I get 2-0'd.
Yeah. So, round 2, I played against Blackwing. I got game 1. They got game 2. And then game 1 was like a 12 or 13 minute game. Game 2 was like a 20-minute game. So we went into game 3 with like 6 minutes left, maybe.
Yep.
Or we ended game 2 with like 5.5, 6 minutes.
Yeah.
By the time we sided and got going into game 3, I went first, and I'm playing Sword Soul,
Yep.
and he had no interruptions. So I just kind of Sword Soul boarded him and burned him for 12 with Long Yan,
Mm-hmm.
and then put Kijing Long Yan up. So I was just gonna keep burning him, and I passed it to him with like a minute and a half left. And the first thing he did was Dark Ruler me.
I saw that and I went, ooh.
Yeah, that was the first thing he did was Dark Ruler. So basically, he had a minute and a half to break my board and pass it back to me do my entire turn, not kill him, and pass it back to him, and him do enough damage.
Well, no, he had a minute to present. I don't remember, because one of the Blackwings, every single time you activate a monster effect, burns you for damage.
Right, the Blackwing armed assault wing dragon or whatever it's called.
And I can totally see that deck putting that out in like 3 moves in easily 20 seconds pass. And
right.
And it's big enough to where you actually have to do stuff to get over it. But at that point, you just go shrug, activate like spell and traps.
Yeah.
And not activate monster effects, you don't get burned.
Right.
Until you get to where you need to go for game.
So I won in time.
Yeah.
So
because of my loss, I went from table 2 to the bottom and got a bye.
oof. Round 3, I played against Fluunderies, the same person you played against in round 1.
Mm-hmm. Cool dude. Really cool dude.
Very nice. I 2-0'd him in like 11 minutes because Sword Soul is just a terrible matchup for Fluunderies.
Yep.
I've always said, I can sit down with my Sword Soul deck and I can play into the Fluunderies board every time and just feel great about it. I love playing it against Flu because it's just, I don't know why. It's just, I've never lost to that deck.
My game 2 was versus full power Tearlament.
Tyr is Shizu Bestial, right?
Yep. Game 1, I lose the die roll. He looks at his hand and goes, pass.
Okay.
And I just go, okay. And I activate Medora, pitching a Verniself.
Uh-huh.
Or no, I pitched I pitched something that I pitched a hand trap I ended up not needing. So Medora, get Gravekeeper's Trap. Gravekeeper's Trap, grab Angeli, go board, OTK.
Yeah.
He's like, Medolce, I like that. Game 2, he normal summons the Searcher.
Uh-huh.
Rukalos, I think. The level 4 normal summon search
Rhinoheart.
Yeah, Rhinoheart. Normal summons Rhinoheart. Gamma. Pass. Full board game.
Enormous oof.
Full board game. Yeah, that was my first duel actually against full power Tearlament.
All right. Round 4 at this point I am 3-0. You are
At this point I'm technically 2-1 but with a bye.
one of them was a bye. Okay. So you're like 1-1 with a bye making it 2-1. Okay.
Yeah.
I played against Dark World.
Ooh.
Yes. I 2-0'd him in like game 1. He pretty much went full board. And then I just played right through it, cracked his board.
Yep.
And OTK'd him. Mainly because I had Droplet.
Oh boy.
I opened Droplet and just he literally said, he was like, yeah, the only way you break this board is if you have Droplet. And I was like, Droplet. And he was like, oh.
He shouldn't have said anything, but he wouldn't have had it.
Yeah, and then afterwards, he was like, man, game 1. He was like, I'm telling you, man. He's like, the only way you break that board is with exactly Droplet or Dark Ruler. I was like, well, I had Droplet. Yep. But it was Adventure Dark World.
Ooh.
So he was playing Dark World with the full Adventure package. That deck was actually sick.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but I did 2-0 him, but he made me work for it. I had to figure out what a lot of his cards did.
Yeah.
But 2 Adventure decks by round 4, I was not happy.
My next round was against another full-powered Tearlament. So game 1, I win the die roll.
Your tournament was way more indicative of the current format than mine.
Yeah, I know, right? So game 1, I present my normal Medolce board. He looks at his hand, sits down, and just goes, just go.
Oof.
No hand traps. Like, all right,
Oof.
cool. So first thing I do is I end up putting up a dweller.
Uh-huh.
I had to use a Varnish, so I couldn't just shotgun the dweller right there in case of something like something weird. But I was like, it's fine. Go full Medolce board, pass. Shotgun dweller.
Right.
He looks at it and goes, all right, so what kind of interactions am I looking at? I'm like, okay.
Explain the board to him.
And I explain the board to him. He goes, plus the dweller's already been shotgunned. And he's like, okay, let me try this. And he starts kind of doing some stuff. And that's how it reveals to me it's Tyrelman. He activates a Medora, pitching one of the other ones, summoning it, normal summoning Havinous, activate effect to like search or something, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I just went Veiler.
Oof.
Pass. Full board OTK. Game 2, him going first, I open a one hand trap. And it's I opened 2 hand traps, but unfortunately the hand traps I opened were Gamma Emporium.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of thinks about it for a second, and he goes, okay, if you have Gamma, you have Gamma. And then he activates Medora to summon, pitching Kelbeck, I think. The one that's Mill 5. That makes us both Mill 5.
Agito?
I think. No. Yeah, maybe. The one that makes both players Mill 5. And I was like,
I think Kelbeck and Agito both do that.
Yeah. It was, I was like, oh, no, I can't let that go off because then...
Right. He'll know what you're playing, or...
He already knows what I'm
that's
playing.
right. This game, 2 or 3.
Yeah. This is game 2. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't let it go off because it's at 5. It's way too easy for him to hit.
Right.
But he hasn't normal summon yet, so... But if I Gamma, I can't Imperm.
Right.
I go, it's too risky. I just Gamma.
Sure.
He normal summons a different tier that just mills 3.
Merly?
Yeah. He normal summons Merly, and then
is it? I don't have. It's not Havinous. I don't know if it's Merly or Sharon that does that.
He normal summons that one. I'm reading the cards as I make sure. And he just goes mill 3, hit.
Oh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Stinky.
Yep. I'm like, oh no.
Stinky poo poo.
He's like, yeah, it happens. Full board, pass. I attempt to play into the board because I did side in some board breakers, but I just couldn't do it. Game 3, I'm going first. I side in DDG.
Oh.
This is important. I look at my opening hand of like Pankratops, different dimension ground, Medolce stuff. I'm like combo stuff. I'm like, this is great.
For those wondering why he's running Pankratops going first, it's because it's a small world bridge into everything.
Literally everything. No. I open like 4 hand traps and Angeli, which is full combo.
Sure, yeah, and DDG.
And double, yeah. And I go normal summon Angeli, activate effect.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks about it and he gammas me.
Okay.
I'm like, oof. Set 1, pass.
Sure.
Draw any draws for turn and normal summons again the one that's like
mill 3,
and I go different dimension ground. hit all banished.
Oh, that's so stinky.
And then he has to and then like it also makes him discard a card.
Oh, that's so stinky.
And he just looks at it and goes, pass.
Oof.
What do?
You pass.
And I draw for turn. And then, like, we're going back and forth.
Sure.
We're grinding it out. I summon out Pank and just Pankrtop beat.
Sure. Sometimes that's just the best thing to do with Pank. It's just, or not worry about his effect and just start swinging.
Yeah. And, like, he's got Paralino. He's got the field spell out. He's got... the point in the game we're in, he has the field spell.
Sure. 3
cards in hand. I have Pank and 1 card in hand.
Mm-hmm.
He goes... I don't like doing this, but I have to. Activate Medora pitching Herald of Orange Light.
Gross.
Or no, he didn't pitch Herald. He pitched one of the other tier elements.
And then he normal summoned Herald.
And then he normal summoned Herald.
And then went into Sprint. I remember you telling me
Yeah,
about
and
this.
then went
Or no,
into
not Sprint.
Elf.
Elf.
Made Elf.
I remember you telling me about this, yeah.
Attempt to activate effect, and I just went, I'm sorry. Go spell.
Yeah.
Pass. And I run it over. So I top deck a Vernisylph. And I'm like, if I top deck another monster, because I have the Angelic still at the bottom of my graveyard. I'm like, if I top deck another monster, I have game. So I run over Elf, pass. He top decks and goes, what's my life at? Like 45. Pass. Top deck a monster.
Oof.
And
That's tough.
I go activate to search for a different Vernisylph, and then summon back the Angel. He goes, you got it. That's game. And I was like, all right, what'd you draw? I drew another Paralino.
Oh, okay.
So the issue is that he could have activated the Paralino to get on the search. But then I just go, cool, chain Pank, get rid of it.
Yeah.
No search. And then I just top deck the monster and go full board anyway.
Yeah.
Good game. It was very fun.
So, my round 5, I play against Sprite.
I also played against Sprite.
Now, I'm sitting at table 1.
I'm sitting at table 2.
We are literally sitting in the exact same chairs that we sat in round 1. It was so funny. So, game 1, he wins the die roll because I only won 1 die roll all day. Even like me and Caleb sat down to play Edison before, and
You lost that die roll.
I lost that die roll. I was losing die rolls all day. So I lose the die roll. He goes first, and my opening hand has like 1 Magnemite, and I think that was it. Maybe a Droplet. But I really don't. My opening hand was very underwhelming, and I had like no starters. And then basically both games I bricked up on.
Ooh.
Yeah, both games I bricked up on Vishudas, Bestials, and like stuff like that wasn't usable.
Yeah.
Like game 2, I lost game 1. Game 2, I was going first. My opening hand was Vishuda, Bestial, Droplet going first. Like, what do you do?
Going second, that's not like as bad.
Yeah, but going first, it's the worst. So
that's.
I said Droplet and I passed, and he just looked at me and he was like, "Oh, it's like that." And I was like, "Yeah, it's like that."
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so he beat me, but it's all right. He's a cool guy and he's a good player, so I don't have any issue with him. So
yeah, my game 1.
round 5, right?
Yeah, round 5. Again, I was playing against Sprite again. I have little to no experience with this deck. And my opening hand only has 1 hand trap. It's Kelbeck.
Okay.
So if he sends a card from his hand or deck to the graveyard, I special summon Kelbeck, and I can bounce one of his special summon monsters.
Okay.
He makes Sprint, effect a Sprint to Mills. And I'm like, I think this is my best time right here. So I hit him with the Kelbeck and bounce the Sprint. He goes, I forgot that card did that. So he wasn't able to present like the full Sprite board.
Sure.
But a feasible board. I wasn't quite able to break it. Game 2, I go first. I set up full board. He can't break it. OTK.
Sure.
Game 3, him going first. Sets up. I draw no hand trap. Sets up full board, and I can't break it.
Well, there was a little bit of back and forth in that game, though, wasn't there?
Oh, very much. Because I did try to break it as much as I could, and even then, I wasn't able to go full board and finish him off.
Yeah.
But then we both used up so much gas.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard. We were both kind of scrambling to finish the other player off.
I think my favorite memory of yesterday, my favorite like thing that I'm gonna like just remember, is round 3. After round 3, I beat that flu guy. He's a very nice guy. I've been playing at that shop for quite a while now. Basically since we got back into the game. I've played against him several times. He's very nice. But I beat him in literally less than 12 minutes. Like 11 and a half minutes. I got up. I walked. I was like the first person in the room done. I turned in my match slip. I reported.
Yeah.
And then I turned around to see where you were at because I was going to go look at your game.
Yep.
And you had already 2-0'd that tier player.
Yep, and I was already
and you were walking with me to report. And I was like, "Oh." I'm looking at the clock. It's like 25 minutes left. I'm like, "Dang, man, what do we do now? We have 25 minutes. We go get food." Like,
yeah. We got time.
It was so funny. Oh, but yeah. So, I don't know. It was a good day. I had a great time.
Mhm.
I'm extremely happy that I finally got to pull some ultis.
Mhm.
And, I think that I'm ready for more tournaments soon. Also, if you're within a few hours and you're interested, there is
Regional.
there's a regional being held at that card shop, Dragon Shield Cards and Games or Dragon Shield Games? Dragon Shield. I don't know. That's the name of the shop. It is in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Don't you mean Steel Fox?
Steel Fox Games.
Not Dragon Shield, Steel Fox.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. At Steel Fox Games
Yeah.
in Shreveport, Louisiana, there is a regional being held there on February 26th.
We will be there.
Yes, it is the last Sunday in February. We are both going to be there. And I might be judging. I don't know. I talked to the owner today.
Yeah.
He said he was looking for judges, so I might just judge. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
We're going to be there regardless, though.
Oh yeah. I'll be playing in it. I'm debating at the moment whether or not if I'm going to keep with Medolce or go to Labyrinth, but I'm thinking I'm going to stick with Medolce.
You can borrow Sword Soul.
Nah, I'm good.
Hey. YCS Sydney wrapped up late last night. 2 Sword Soul topped that event.
Oh no! I understand. Sword Soul is a great deck.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
It's like the 8th best deck right now. It's not that bad.
Yeah, no. No, I'm just playing like the 3rd best.
I don't know that
Arguably.
your deck is the 3rd best. I think it's like maybe the 6th or 7th best.
Yeah, it went from near to almost unplayable to this is actually really good now.
Yeah, it's like solid tier 2. Like solid
Yeah.
tier 2.
But I think part of that might just because it just has a good matchup versus tier.
I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because everybody's playing Bishtiels.
it's
And
an
your whole
Earth.
deck is Earth.
That
It's
is
the same reason Naturia is so good.
that is fair. The only main deck I only run 2 main deck monsters that the Bestials can actively use, and that's because I don't have Bestials.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Crow and Herald of Orange Light.
Yep, that's it. So,
And
if
now
you,
I have like 6 of them.
yeah, if you are interested in that particular event, it is again February 26th in Shreveport. It is the last Sunday in February. I know that Sundays are not the best days for a lot of people, but for us, it's only about an hour and 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
So, and be sure to show out for that because we are definitely going to hopefully have a good time. I think there is even some talk of some Edison format side events.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to check that out. So we have gone only 20 minutes too far onto the tournament report.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the new cards, and we're going to start with, we have the name and the cover cards, I guess the main boss monsters or whatever you want to say it.
It's the main boss monsters of the 3 new archetypes that are being introduced in that set.
Right. So this is the next deck build pack. It's called Wild Survivors. Now, for those that aren't really familiar, the deck build packs for us are things like Grand Creators, or what else? What are the other?
Grand Creators is the only one I think of off the top of my head. Amazing
Okay.
Defenders?
Somebody
Defenders,
made.
maybe?
Yes, Amazing Defenders is it one. Amazing Defenders releases in like a couple of weeks, but we also have Tactical Masters, Spirit Warriors, Dark Saviors, Hidden Summoners, Infinity Chaser, Mystic Fighters, Secret Slayers, Genesis Impact, Ancient Guardians, which is where we started, Grand Creators, and Tactical Masters. That's all of them. Okay. So, with the recent sets of Tactical Masters with Runic, and Labyrinth to an extent,
Yeah.
Grand Creators with Punk Adventure Exosister, Ancient Guardians was terrible, Genesis Impact gave us Drytron, Secret Slayers gave us Eldritch Adamantipator and Rika. Even if you look at Mystic Fighters, gave us Mathmech, Dragon Maids, and to an extent Generator.
Yeah.
There's even Hidden Summoners gave us
Yeah.
Prank Kids.
Yeah, there's good stuff in them.
Dark Saviors gave us Sky Striker.
Yeah, long story short, there's good stuff in those deck build sets.
Yes. And with these deck build sets, we often get decks and archetypes that are meta impacting in one way or another. Now, if that's the case coming up with Amazing Defenders, I doubt it. They're not all bangers, but I'm anticipating this set being impactful. So the 3 archetypes, the names of them are Transcendrake, which is described as large-scale dinosaurs that appear on the field using different kinds of summoning methods. And then you have VS, or Vanquished Soul, which is fighters that release their special attacks using the power of attributes. Very cool art. I'm anticipating this one being very bad.
Because it's got the cool art.
No, because it's attribute based.
Well, it really depends. One way that it could be good is if it's like case of when this card is synchro summoned, if it's a synchro deck archetype, when this card is synchro summoned, its attribute becomes the attribute of its tuner, and then depending upon the attribute, it gets a different effect.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see.
Yeah. This is the one I know is not going to be either going to be absolutely broken or completely unplayable. The next one.
Okay.
Novellus, a ritual summoning theme that treat the opponent to different cuisines. I hope this is Hungry Hamburger support.
That would be amazing.
Because Hungry Hamburger is level 6. This guy, so it's a chef with 6 stars on his jacket. And it's a ritual archetype. Ritual archetypes are notorious for either being completely unplayable or absolutely broken. Looking at you, Drytron.
Yeah, there's really no in between. Like, you have Drytron, you have, Necros. These absolutely broken ritual decks.
But then you have, I'm trying to think the name of it. It's something. Chalice Slime is one of them.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you know the archetype I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's got like Pentaplume and Chalice Slime and oh gosh, I can't remember the name.
Like
of
that
the actual
archetype. That ritual based archetype is like okay.
It provides support for other ritual decks.
Yeah, it's generic ritual support, which is good.
Yes. So I'm excited. I figure we're gonna get effects for these cards around early February.
Yeah.
Early to mid February. But until then, we have about 1 million cards from Cyberstorm Access to talk about. So,
oh boy.
Let's talk about Albion the Incandescent Dragon. So, Albion the Incandescent Dragon is a level 8 light dragon fusion effect monster. As you might have been able to tell, it's part of the Fallen of Albaz lore. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Materials, Fallen of Albaz, and 1 light spellcaster monster. Cannot be used as fusion material. You can only use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Okay, pretty straightforward.
Okay.
2. During your opponent's turn, you can target 2 monsters in the graveyards. Special summon both monsters, 1 on each field.
Okay.
And 3, if this card is in the graveyard, you contribute 4 monsters in the extra monster zones and each player's center main monster zone. And if you do, special summon this card. So basically like a cross in the middle of the field.
Yes.
Boy, that's not symbolic or anything.
It's actually based on, I forgot what that's called. My brain keeps saying Zoroastrianism, but I know that's not correct. But
yeah, I don't know the name.
Yeah, I looked it up a while ago, and I have completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Anyway, next up we have Despian Lulu Waylith.
But by the way, Albion the Incandescent Dragon's broken.
Oh, yeah. Despian Lulu Waylith.
Lulu Walilith.
Yeah, Lulu Walilith. Walilith.
You said wah at just the wrong time.
Rage against the dying of the light. She is... her kanji name is Bewitching Knight of the Sudden Saint or Eldritch Knight of the Crimson Holy, both of which are valid. Light spellcaster synchro effect, level 12 monster, 2,500 attack, 2,500 defense, a level 4 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters.
Oh, you know what you can literally use to make this?
Ecclesia.
And any of the level 8 Albion fusions. Like Albion the Incandescent and Ecclesia makes this.
Yep.
Broken.
Once per turn, if a card leaves either extra deck, that's weird specificity. You can make all face-up monsters you currently control gain 500 attack, then negate the effect of 1 face-up card on the field to the end of this turn.
Okay.
2. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon a light spellcaster monster from your hand or deck whose attack equals its own defense.
This card is actually broken in Sword Soul.
I can see how you can summon it, but what part of it is... Oh, is it just like just dropping this thing and then just kinda...
So it's an extra form of interruption, right? First of all, you can make everything you have gain 500 attack. which if you have something like a Chi-Shao on the board, then having a Chi-Shao gain 500 attack is really, really good because it lets it clear that 3,000 barrier.
Yeah.
Because so many boss monsters are like right at 3,000, and if you can clear that 3,000 barrier, it makes it much better.
Yeah, but not only that, because the way it activates, like even your opponent like, oh, I'm just going to fusion summon. A card has left the extra deck.
Right.
Effect, gain 500, and then target negate its effect.
Exactly. So basically, if they special summon from the extra deck, this effect will trigger. So it's very good in that you can just negate like that. And then also during the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can just special summon
Ecclesia the Virtuous.
Yeah, Ecclesia the Virtuous.
And then on your turn, you
yeah,
you have that as a starter.
Right. It's very good for Sword Soul. Interesting.
Lulua is the first daughter of Adam and Eve, also known by the names, and then just lists a bunch of her names. One of them is Canaan. Neat. She's believed to be by some traditional Jewish sources to be the wife of Cain. Lilith is the first wife of Adam, created by God from the clay like him. I'm not going to go into any more of that because this is a kid show.
Yeah, that's kind of wow.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Anyway.
In certain folklore, she's the mother of nightmares and demons?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so it's a combination of those two.
Yep.
Lulu-Walilith. Lulu-Walilith.
Walilith.
Oh my
Lulu-Walilith.
All right, next we have Virtual World Tiger Hugh.
Hey, Virtual World players, getting a new card.
Yeah.
Yo.
It is a rank 9 Earthworm Exceeds effect monster. 2,600 attack, 2,800 defense. Materials is 2+ level 9 monsters. So Virtual World finally getting their own in archetype rank 9 because, you know, they don't have VFD anymore.
Yep.
First effect. This card gains the following effects depending on the number of Virtual World Gate cards you control. 2+, this card can attack directly. 4, this card is unaffected by the activated effects of cards except Virtual World cards. And then second effect, once per turn, quick effect, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Then target 1 monster you control and 1 monster on the field with a different attribute and type. Negate their effects until the end of the turn.
So it can just become a towers. But you have to have 4 of those gates up, and I don't know how viable that is.
4 is a lot. You could definitely have 3 up, but 4 means you're playing one that you don't normally play.
Yeah, like in my experience, I don't think it cares if it's just like 3 copies of the same one and then 1 copy of another one.
Correct,
but like as far as I know, they only run 2, and they run 3 copies of 2, and then they prefer to like have 1 on field and the rest.
Well, there's Kowloon,
yeah,
Virtual World City, but I think Kowloon just activates 1 from the deck.
Yeah,
and then you have King Long.
We would have to ask our good friend, who is also a resident Virtual World player.
Yes,
he would know better than both of us combined.
There's I think there is actually a Gate Kowloon too.
Yeah.
There's Hidden City Kowloon.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a Gate Kowloon too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I played against Virtual World.
But I mean, just the whole detach 1 and then negate targeted monster gate is pretty solid.
Yes. All right. Next we have a card for you.
Oh, okay. Usamimi Doshi. I'm not even gonna read that. The top little funny thing, I'm not gonna read that. So it's a level 1 Earth Beast Warrior effect monster, 200 attack, 100 defense. Once per chain, when the effect of a monster except itself is activated, quick effect, place 1 bunny ears counter on it.
Oh my goodness.
Monsters with bunny ear counters cannot be destroyed by battle. 2, once per turn, quick effect, you can target a monster with a bunny ear counter on it. Banish both that monster and this card until the next standby phase.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Wind Up Rabbit.
A little bit, yeah, but it can also like, so like something you can do is if your opponent like summons, just summons a monster, activates its effect.
Sure.
And then they're about to use it as material. If you have this on field, it'll get the counter. You can just go cool, quick effect, banish them both.
Normal summon Mo Yi.
Yeah, get the token. Cool. It now has activate effect to get the token. Boom. Now it has a counter, a quick effect. Remove them both.
Right, and then they're stuck with the token and no Mo Yi.
Yep, and then during the next, but then they can just do
well, that's not the point.
Yeah, it's not the point.
But what's really important here is that this is the first true furry card in Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, so next we have Time Rending Morganite. Time Rending Morganite is a normal spell card. 1, for the rest of this duel, apply each of these effects. Okay, this card is weird.
Yeah.
Okay, for the rest of the duel, apply each of these effects. You cannot activate monster effects in the hand. You draw 2 cards each time you conduct your normal draw. You can normal summon or set up to twice per turn. 2, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard 1 Time Rending Morganite. Each time you normal summon a monster this turn, your opponent cannot activate monster effects.
So it's just flu support.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
So you can't activate monster effects in the hand.
Yeah.
So
You can't act. So like if you're running the Shizu cards, you can't activate Keldo or Medora.
or whatever other Ishizu cards you have. If you're running any deck, you can't activate hand traps.
Yeah.
So in theory, you can run this in Flu. It would kind of mess up your ability to do a late game D-Shifter, but most of the time, in my opinion, you're not really doing D-Shifter past turn 0 or turn 1 anyway.
Yeah, because by that point, you're going to have a graveyard.
Right. Even in Flu, right?
Yeah, because then you're going to
Quick play spells, Book of Moons, whatever.
Yeah, Pot of Duality.
Right. Okay. You draw 2 cards every time you conduct your normal draw. That's broken. That's insane.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be stated how good that is.
Just a constant normal double summon going on.
Yeah, and then you can normal summon and set up to twice per turn every turn.
Yep.
Can you imagine how good that's going to be in Flu Under Ease?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. That is going to be insane.
The whole you can activate monster effects hand is like, yeah, it only affects exactly D-Shifter.
In that deck, yeah.
Yeah, for them. So
It's crazy.
and then of course, and then even if they even if like they top deck another copy after already activating it, cool. Effect banish, discard that second copy. You can't activate monster effects when I
Yes.
normal summon this turn.
Which just insulates everything because the way it's worded is pretty similar to something like Magical Meltdown, Magical Meltdown, where they can't respond to the fusion summons.
Yeah, no, in this case you can't activate monster effects in response
Right.
to the normal summon.
So something like the way I'm reading this anyway would be like if I normal summon Rabina and activate Rabina's effect, my opponent cannot.
Gamma or
Right, they can't respond to Rabina's effect.
yeah, with anything outside of an already set like Forbidden Chalice or Forbidden Droplet or like an Imperm.
Right, exactly. All right, next card. But yeah, that card's broken. Potentially.
And exactly that one deck. Next card we have is B Trooper Cruel Saturn, level 5 Dark Insect Fusion Effect Monster, 2400 attack, 2000 defense. Materials is a B Trooper monster and an insect monster.
I think they can find those.
Nah, no, never.
Why do they continue to print level 5 fusion monsters?
I don't know. I guess just to really go nudge, nudge, wink, wink, instant fusion.
Do they really need to ban instant fusion? That card needs to be banned so badly.
If this card is special summoned, add a B Trooper card from deck to hand. Hey, look, instant fusion.
Dude,
Bait.
can you imagine just like activate instant fusion, summon this card, activate effect, search anything, you just went +1 for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Pot of Greed
For
is
1,000 life points.
Pot of Greed is banned for being a free +1.
But I mean,
Instant fusion is also a free +1.
it's not free. You're paying 1,000 life points.
It's free.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm just saying, Pot of Greed is banned for being an
Yeah.
inherent free +1.
this is So like,
That's essentially what instant fusion is these days. That
Yeah,
card
it's-
needs to be banned.
2, you cannot special monsters except insects. Okay, and 3, if an insect monster becomes banished face up, you can target one of your banished B Trooper monsters and special summon it.
Insect monster becomes banished face up.
You can target one of your banished B Troopers and special summon it.
I mean, listen, because that's what B Trooper needed was more extenders.
Yup.
All right, next we have first purchase of the year. So this is a normal trap card. Excavate the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, and if you do, choose one of them and declare a multiple of 100, max 3,000. Your opponent can gain that amount of life points, and if they do, you lose that many life points. And if you do that, add the chosen card to your hand. Place the rest on the top of the deck in the same order. So, here's what I don't get.
Mhm.
You can just do this for 100 life points.
Yeah, but then your opponent gets to decide whether or not you get it. Or whether your opponent can decide whether or not they gain the life points. And if you lose that many. So theoretically you could, but...
Oh, so you have to make it enough
So your
to where
opponent
your opponent...
will consider gaining life points, you losing it, but then you get the
I didn't
card.
realize the choice was on the opponent.
Yeah,
That
the
didn't register to
opponent
me.
chooses whether or not to gain the life points and then you lose it, but if they do that, you get the card.
Gotcha.
So essentially what you're doing is your opponent is setting out 5 cards, and then you're making an offer.
Gotcha.
You're making a life point offer.
So it's literally that meme of that dude sitting in a suit with his hands like together,
Yeah,
going trade offer.
exactly.
I give you
So many life
1,500
points.
of my life points.
In
You give
exchange,
me
I get this
Monster Reborn.
Yeah, I get this card that you activate on top of your deck.
Gotcha.
Hence the first purchase of the year reference here.
Okay, all right, that's funny.
Fun fact.
I don't think it's that good, but it's funny.
So fun fact, it's based on a holiday. So children in East or Southeast Asia typically get money as a gift on New Year's from family members. And then after New Year's, whenever all the holidays and all the shops open up, the kids go and buy something with this money.
Gotcha. All right, next card is yours.
Yes, 1 second. Gotta pull it up.
You want to do it while you pull up?
It's the Alabasta support?
It's these 3 cards.
Yes. Okay. Support for Alabasta story themes. It is a Sword Soul card, a Trap Brigade spell, and a branded trap.
Ooh, can I do the Sword Soul and Tri Brigade and you get the trap? Because I play Sword Soul and Tri Brigade.
That's fair.
Okay. Sword Soul of Blazing Awakening. Normal spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. 1. If you control a synchro monster, target 1 card on the field or in either graveyard, banish it. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
2. If your opponent controls a Ritual Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link monster, you can banish 1 Synchro monster from your graveyard. Add this card to your hand.
It's pretty good.
I would say so.
And it's searchable.
It works as a searchable board breaker. It's not quick play, which is kind of rough, but for the most part, it feels pretty good.
Oh yeah, and all it really requires is for you to get a synchro on board.
Right. So if you get into Chi-Zhao, then you can just use Chi-Zhao to search this. Actually.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that's weird to me is that it doesn't have that typical Sword Soul spell clause of if it's banished, you can level modulate by level, but...
I think because it's technically not a Sword Soul card, but it also is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like Sword Soul adjacent.
Next, you have Tri Brigade Roar. This is a quick play spell card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. 1. If you control a Link monster, send 1 Tri Brigade card from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, then target 1 effect monster on the field. Apply this card effect based on the type of card sent. Monster. Change that target's attack to 0 until the end of this turn. Spell. Negate that target's effects until the end of this turn. Or trap. Return that target to the hand.
It's pretty solid because you can send a monster and get their effect off.
Right.
Like let's say you need the Ferrigite, you can just send a Ferrigite, draw 1, put 1 back on bottom.
That's true.
Get a Bear Blossom search, or even just get a Shurag does something with send to graveyard, doesn't he?
Yeah, Shurag searches.
Yeah. So you can also get a Shurag search. Or you can, but then you can also do something's attack to 0, which is just becomes a direct hit for you. It's not a thing.
Right. It would give you the ability to essentially blank a card in your opponent's field.
But then you can,
and it gives you the ability to activate this in the damage step.
Yeah. Isn't there a Tri Brigade spell that does something in graveyard?
Oath.
You could also send Oath and just negate something.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you get your Oath effect as well. No
All
one
right.
runs traps. Lastly, for this set, we have Blazing Branded King. You can only use 1 of the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn, and only once that turn. 1. Choose a fusion monster you control that mentions Fallen of Albaz as materials. Negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field until end of turn.
Oh.
2. During the end phase, if a fusion monster is sent to your graveyard this turn, add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So as a trap card, this is ridiculously powerful.
But
Just non-targeted blanketing negate.
the thing is,
You have to control a Fallen of Alabast fusion. Also, it's a trap card.
it's a trap card. So, all right, next one is all yours.
Yep. 1 second to switch over to it.
Sure. I am
Oh.
gonna get our next song on.
Fair enough. We have music playing in the background as we're doing
Always.
this. Yeah. Gunkin Sous Chips Chef's Choice. Might we recommend the best dish of the joint? It is. So there are 2 ways that this card's name can be read. It's either the Gunkin Sous Chips Chef's Choice or Gunkin Sous Chip Chef's Specialty. Continuous spell. Once per turn, you can reveal a Gunkin Sous Chip Shari in your hand. Place a counter on this card if you do reveal a Gunkin Exceeds monster in your extra deck, and if you do that, your opponent declares the name of one Gunkin monster name mentioned in Gunkin Exceeds monster, except Shari. One declares the name of one Gunkin monster. Okay, add the declared card from your deck to your hand. If you cannot, shuffle this card into the deck. Okay, so you reveal one. So Shari is the vanilla.
Sure.
You reveal one of your sous ships, which all the sous ship exceeds say if this card has this other Gunkin card as material against this other effect,
Right.
your opponent has to say the name of that card. So they're ordering it, and then you pull it out.
Okay.
And then you pull it out. If you don't have it in the deck, the chef's choice gets put back in the deck
Gotcha. Okay. That's
because you
fine.
didn't have what they wanted to order.
Yeah. I think the next one is also
Well,
yours.
hold on. 2. If this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent, they pay life points exactly equal to the number of counters that were on it times 500. As in, they have to pay their bill now.
Okay. All right.
I like how they're kind of doing lore stuff with this.
Yeah, I do like the direction that they're taking this.
Next up, Chaos Angel, Paradise or Perdition. It's all a matter of perspective. So its OCG full name is Chaos Angel, Twin Wings of Chaos.
I wonder why the TCG name is so different.
So it's weird because Twin Angel, Twin Wings of Chaos follows a lot more in line with some of the more powerful Chaos monsters, like Black Luster Soldier, Envoy at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Chaos Ember Dragon, Envoy at the end. It was like Black Magician of Chaos.
Yes.
But then, so they're not entirely sure if it's going to go that route or go the other route for the other ones where it's just like Chaos Sorcerer.
Right.
So it's a level 10 Dark Fiend Synchro Effect monster. 3,500 attack, 2,800 defense. Materials is a tuner and one or more non-tuner light or dark monsters. For this card, Synchro Summon, you can trade a light or dark monster you control as a tuner. It's a synchro that doesn't need a tuner.
Also, this is also very hittable in Sword Soul.
What? Fair.
Because you can use the Bestials
Yeah, and then
as the level 6
light
or dark.
as the non-tuner light or dark, and
Uh-huh.
then one of your tuners. Because
Yes.
you can use any tuner. It's just saying that if you have a light or dark monster, you can use it as if it's not a tuner,
Right.
you can use it as.
And
a
then
tuner.
also you can, if you have a Vishuda or Ashuna on the field, then you can like normal summon a Taya,
and boom, you got it.
and you can normal summon Taya and banish a spell card, and then level modulate the tuner down to 3, and 3 and 7 get you there.
Which in Vishuda and Vishuda and
Ashuna
are light and dark and not
level
tuners.
7, right?
But you can make them a tuner,
Yeah.
which is great. So
Oh yeah, and you can make him a tuner too. I
because
didn't think about that.
because this guy's effect, you can
Right,
turn him into a tuner. So you don't even need to do that. You can just normal summon a level 4 monster while having one of them out on field. Just go. Well, you still have to level modulate, but then you can still hit it.
Yeah, actually, you're right though. If you have a bestial on field,
You can, and literally, like, let's say you normal summon a Taya, and then activate effect, and they Veiler, or like negate. You're like, cool, banish, summon a bestial.
Actually, so if you do that and make the bestial the light or dark,
Mhm.
then Taya would have to be light or dark, right? Because then your non-tuner has to be light or dark.
That is
so,
true.
Yeah,
that
no,
is
the
true.
only way to do it would be to level
You-
modulate the tuner so that you have your Ashuna or your
or
Vishuda, or you can
using the
a bestial and a tuner that's not modulated.
or your
Sword Soul token.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's see if it's actually worth going through all that.
Right.
1, if this card is special summoned, not single summoned, just special summoned, period, Target a card on the field and banish it.
You can.
Yeah, you can target a card on the field and banish it. Pretty good. 2. This card gains the effects based on the original attributes and materials used to synchro summon it. Light. Synchro monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects.
That's pretty good.
Makes them all towers. 2. Or dark. Your monsters cannot be controlled by battle. Not as good.
I think it's worth running.
It's worth at least trying out, particularly if you can summon it off of the light one. Ashuna?
Yes.
Yeah, like if you can summon it using Ashuna as using Ashuna somehow. Oh, no, I got it. You can like if you have the Ashuna on board, you can summon Taya, banish level modulate it down, and then
modulate the token down and then make 10,
Yeah.
It's only worth it though if you have another way to get into another one. So like
you can put out multiple.
If you have Longyan with material in hand, then at this point you're requiring like a four card hand.
It's
3 or 4 card hand.
It's worth the experimentation.
Yeah. So like you could like special summon Ashuna and then like activate Emergence to get Taya, and then normal summon Taya, activate effect, banish Emergence to make the and then you can activate Longyan and then use the Longyan token with Taya to make Chi-Xiao, then use Chi-Xiao to banish the trap to synchro with Longyan and make another 10. So you can do two. So you can do this first. That way they can't respond.
Question.
What
level's Baxia?
Baxia's 8. Baxia's 8.
Okay, so you can't really level modulate to utilize Baxia, unfortunately.
You can. It would be very difficult though.
Yeah, but is path you take you can take as Baxia is a light.
Yes, in theory you could do it.
Yeah, like the big thing.
The easier thing would be Yazia's 7.
Yeah, because then you level it down to 6, and then use the token to make it.
But it's still wonky.
It's still also really not worth it at that point, because then it just can't be controlled by battle. You want to use light to just blanket protect your.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have double hooking, continuous trap card. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. 1. Activate this card by discarding 1 card, then target up to 2 monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. If any of the targeted monsters leaves the field, destroy this card. If this card leaves the field, destroy the targeted monster.
Yo, I heard you like Call of the Haunted, so we put Call of the Haunted in your Call of the Haunted.
Honestly.
It's literally just Call of the Haunted, but fetch 2.
It's just Call of the Haunted. Wow, that's crazy that we're at the point where we're power creeping Call of the Haunted. All right. So I think that is where we're going to call it on this episode. We do have a few more cards to talk about. But
we'll talk about them next episode, and we're probably going to have a lot more new cards revealed by the time we record again.
Yeah, they're pumping through new cards, and hopefully we'll have an Amazing Defenders full set reveal too. So that'll be also something worth talking about.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and we will table everything else so that we can go ahead and talk more about that when we get there. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for listening to today's episode of the Top Cut Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast. Now, again, if you want to support the podcast, we have all the sponsor links down below, as well as the affiliate links to click before you shop. And of course, be sure to check out our Patreon. And if you're on YouTube, check out Spotify and the other one, Apple. And if you're on Spotify and Apple, be sure to check out YouTube. We are trying to grow our YouTube. One of our big main goals for this year is to grow our YouTube channel to 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers. We're really shooting for at least 2,000 subscribers by the end of 2023, which is kind of a lofty goal, but we're planning on doing some new cool content. And if we do any live streaming this year, it'll be on YouTube because I personally don't love all the things that are going on with Twitch recently. But that will be it for us. And if you are... I lost that train of thought. Thank you all so much for listening, and we will catch you Friday.
Take care, everybody.